Hello students, today we are going to learn the poem The Squirrel by Mildred Bowers Armstrong. I know that you all are familiar with a squirrel. Yes, haven't you seen a squirrel running up and down a tree? It is really fun to watch a squirrel. Now let us learn how the poet sees the squirrel and how she describes the squirrel. The Squirrel by Mildred Bowers Armstrong. He wore a question mark for tail and overcoat of grey. He sat up straight to eat a nut. He liked to tease and play, and if we ran around his tree, he went the other way. In this short poem, the poet describes a squirrel. He wore a question mark for tail. He here stands for the squirrel. The poet is observing a squirrel and is describing it. She says that the squirrel wore a question mark for tail. Why does she say that a squirrel wears a question mark for tail? If you look at this picture, see how the squirrel's tail is? Yeah, the shape of the tail looks as if it's a question mark. The shape of the tail resembles a question mark. That is why the poet says that the squirrel wears a question mark for tail. She says this because of its bent or curved shape. Then the poet goes on to describe the skin of the squirrel. He wore a question mark for tail and overcoat of grey. The loose skin of the squirrel looks as if the squirrel is wearing an overcoat. What is an overcoat? Yeah, it is a kind of jacket, a coat that is worn over the dress. The poet says that it looks as if the squirrel is wearing an overcoat which is grey in color. He sat up straight to eat a nut. Yeah, squirrels love eating nuts. Nuts are the favorite food of squirrels. And the poet says he sat up straight to eat a nut. He liked to tease and play. Yeah, if we observe a squirrel is always active and playful. It runs around, it climbs up and down the trees. So the poet says the squirrel liked to tease. To tease means make fun of and play. And if we ran around his tree, he went the other way. And if we go near his tree or run around his tree, will the squirrel stay? No. It would run away the other way, the opposite way. So, in these 6 lines, the poet describes a squirrel. First, let me summarize. She describes the tail of the squirrel. She says that it seems that the squirrel wore a question mark for tail. Wore is the past tense of the word wear, W-E-A-R. He wears a question mark for tail. He wore a question mark for tail, an overcoat of grey. And then she goes on to describe the skin or the fur of the squirrel. Then she describes how he eats a nut, how a squirrel eats a nut. Then she describes the playful or the active active or the lively nature of a squirrel. And also at the end says that a squirrel runs away when people go near it. Thank you.